Hi, Lincoln Parks here, founder and CEO of Web Mobile Fusion and 2021 board chair for the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. Today, I'm excited to share with you a new segment from the Henry County Chamber of Commerce, and it's called The Chair Seat. In the chair seat, we are going to interview fascinating people in Henry County. So I want you to listen in to this next great interview in the chair seat. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I am joined today by Mr. Joshua Evans. Joshua is a senior at Union Grove High School. He's already been accepted to Georgia State, where he will be attending college this fall. His major is going to be in entrepreneurship, and Joshua is a phenomenal student. And Joshua, welcome for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Parks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just want to jump in with you and just share your experience and what you've been doing. So I know that you have been a part of the Academy for Advanced Studies, the work-based study program. Talk to us a little bit about your experience with the Academy for Advanced Studies.
So the Academy for Advanced Studies is kind of a branch off school, an optional schooling pathway that you can go ahead and focus on the pathways that you really want to do. So some kids are doing culinary, some kids are doing more in-depth engineering. And I am one of the students who went into programming and electronics, and that has helped me greatly in furthering my career.
So, and I'm really impressed with you, Joshua, because I know that Joshua is a part of work study based program for me. So he's helping me out, you know, with programming apps and doing a lot of things with Web Mobile Fusion. So Joshua, we talked a little bit about programming, and from what I understand, you had initially created this bus app for Henry County schools. I mean, that's phenomenal. Tell me a little bit about that.
So yes, this was last year. I was standing at the bus stop last year, and I was looking around. The bus was late, and I asked myself, why am I still doing this? This is the 21st century. There should be an app for this. So immediately the next day, I got to work on this app, and I presented it to Dr. Reynolds at the Academy, and she got me in touch with the Department of Transportation. And this was absolutely amazing, an opportunity. And it was a pitch. I could present this app that I created, and they loved it. But they had a couple suggestions the very first time I met, and we rescheduled for a second meeting. And this time they seemed absolutely ecstatic about it. I created a little chip that you would put inside the bus, and that would allow for parents and students to see the locations of their buses and communicate with the bus driver. But then also the director would have a huge map of all the buses in the county, what they're over, and see all the little dots moving around and communicate and check out all the routes. It was really cool.
Yeah, that is phenomenal, Joshua. I really, I don't know how you came up with that idea, but I guess it was initiated out of a need. Mm-hmm. You were standing there on the bus stop, and you know, why do I have to wait I could wait inside until the bus comes. When the bus is getting closer, then I can run outside to catch the bus. That's phenomenal. So let me ask you this: how did you get started with programming and technology and building apps? And I mean, for a young man, 18 years old, and you're getting ready to go into college, that's phenomenal. How did you get started?
So I was talking to my mom about this the other day. She said I always kind of seem to like kind of circuits and putting things together with the Thomas trains and stuff. I would put those together and love it. I would love doing puzzles. And because both my parents were teachers, they saw this as an opportunity to expose me to science, to expose me to engineering. So every Christmas, I would get all these science kits. And at first, I kind of disliked it. I kind of wanted a game, but I did get this one amazing kit called Snap Circuits. This isn't a paid advertisement or anything. This was just such an amazing kit. You could build your own circuits, build your own radio from scratch, build your this, build your that. And I loved it so much, I kind of became obsessed with it. And I just took it further and further until I was making actual circuits, the same stuff you would see when you take apart a real radio. I was going to Radio Shack to get the parts. And then I found about the connection between the electronics. If you collapse all of that, a way of interfacing with that is programming. And using programming with electronics is the next big step. Now you can make things like MP3 players. You can start connecting things to the web. So I started doing that, and then that eventually led to app development. And yeah, it was just a journey that I took because it was super interesting.
And that is phenomenal. And I'm so glad that you took this journey, because there's so few young men that are on this path and on this journey. And I'm super proud of you in what you're doing. So, we talked a little bit about that technology piece, and I know that you have actually gotten quite a few accolades. So you were a part of a local science fair. Tell us about this science fair, what you did, and where you're going with that.
So my science fair is a continuation of my last year's science fair project, where I used a really interesting medical technique called electromyography, which has the ability to detect the minute electric signals and active muscles and amplify that and do a bit of computation and stuff to tell what muscles are open and being used. And this was able to get to ISEF, and which is an amazing accomplishment, something that I'm very thankful for being able to participate in. And then this year, I wanted to, continue it. So I wanted to implement it with virtual reality. Imagine you put on some futuristic virtual reality garment, a shirt or something, and it has the ability to tell whether your hands are open, what your hands are doing. That is what I was doing in my science fair project. And again, this year I was able to go to ISEF, which is super cool.
That is phenomenal. So, and for you guys that are watching, ISEF is the International Science and Engineering Fair. And Joshua, I understand this was supposed to be in California, but again, because of COVID, it's going to be virtual, right? Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. Real bummer.
Well, I'm sorry you missed out on that opportunity to go to California, but again, that is a great accomplishment to be representing your school and representing the county, Henry County, at this International Science Fair. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes. So, kudos to you, because I'll tell you, at 18, I had no idea on how to do the things that you're doing right now. So the kudos to you and hats off to you.
Thank you.
So I want you to share, do you know when is your graduation ceremony from Union Grove? When is that supposed to be coming up?
So that is coming up very soon. And we do plan to attend. I have different family members who are going to come out. And that's something I am looking forward to. Mm-hmm.
So I know that's going to be held at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is that
yes,
correct?
Which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would this be your first time at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
It will be. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, you are going to enjoy it. It's a great venue, great events right here locally in Henry County. So hopefully you guys get the opportunity to tour a little bit and look around and see what's going on there at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So Joshua, I am very excited for you. I am just looking at your future and know that you have a bright future ahead of you. I can already tell that you are going to be a multi-millionaire before you reach the age of 30. So this is being recorded. So you can watch this back, before you reach 30 and said, somebody sowed that seed into your life. And that's what I'm doing for you. Well,
thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you, Joshua, for being on. And I want you to leave us with one thing. If there are other parents that are watching or other students that are watching, what is one thing that you can tell them? How do they get into this field, and how do they get to where you are today?
Everyone is different. Everyone has their own unique skills, things that they're passionate about. The one advice I would give is find those passions as early as you possibly can and hone in on it and focus on it and understand that what you're going to do in life it's going to have something to do with your passions. And that's how you get really good at something, is by doing something you really love doing.
Awesome. And I know you really love programming and you really love what you're doing, because I know you spend countless hours doing that and showing your parents all of your new inventions.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Joshua, for joining us today. And it was a pleasure speaking with you, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. If you enjoyed this interview, head over to www.henrycounty.com. At that website is where you will find a member directory, member resources, what's new in Henry County, blogs, events, and more information. I want you to plug into the Henry County Chambers podcast, the Henry County Chambers video podcast, and more importantly, I want you to plug into together4henry.com. That's together, 4, henry.com. At that website is where you are going to find so much information that you can plug in and be a part of this great community. So thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.